Kakadosh Boker Or Daf Yomi Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Daf 70, and we are starting in Daf Samechta Mubet 69b, where it says Kiel Laish Ben Sorer Umoreh, and we just said that it's going to be Ben Velo Bat. It's going to be a boy and not a girl. Tanya, we learned in the Braita Amar Bishimon says Bishimon Bedinhu, right? Mitzad the Svara Shete Bat Ruya Lebe. That means a bat should also be Ben Sorer Umoreh. Why is it only a Ben? It should also be a bat. Yeah, so he says because everybody's going to be with her to do with an Avirah, which means that we learn that usually that it's going to be. So therefore, just like the Ben, the Torah comes and says that he's going to be Yamut Zakai Yamut Chayav, so too it should be with the Bat. So says the Gemara, Ela, but rather he says it's a Gzerat HaKatuv. And therefore he says, since it's a Gzerat HaKatuv, Ben velo Bat, so therefore it's Davka Ben velo Bat. Fine. Daf Ayin Amud Aleph. Mishnah 78 says the Mishnah, Memata Chayav. When is the Ben Sorer going to be Chayav? Sekila Mishiyochal Tarmitar Basar. Yes, to eat a Tarmitar of Basar. Here a Tarmitar it's a piece of meat which has the Mishkal of a Tarmitar. Okay? V'yishteh Chetzi Log Yaina Italki. He has to drink a Chetzi Log of Yaina Italki. Okay? Of Italian wine. Lama Davka Italki. I guess it says it's a Yain Tov Meuleh. The people they go after. I guess it has to be a good wine. Okay? So he says, Rabbi Yosef says, Mane basar velo yain. He has to eat a mane of basar. So here it says it's around 480 grams, which is nothing really. Yeah? Baba Haki, I'm putting you on mute. Yeah? 480 grams is nothing. Yeah? So he says, of basar. Yeah? Okay. And he says he has to drink, right, a log yain. Yeah. So how much is log yain? 345 cc. Kama shot?
No, how long is going to?
No.
You're going to sit with him all day. Fine.
Yeah. 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 Fine. Achal b'chaburat mitzvah. If a person comes and he's going to eat a chaburat mitzvah, right, or achal be'ibura chodesh. What happens though if he was eating, right? If he was eating in a chaburat mitzvah, right, or he was going to eat, right, whether it's going to be chaburat mitzvah or in ibura chodesh, which is also suda mitzvah, when they come and they do the suda mitzvah for the chodesh, or achal maaser sheni b'Yerushalayim, or achal nevelot u'tuvot u'shkatzim masim. Right? Or again, this is Tevel Matzah Rishon Shelo Ninu Tumatal, Matzah Sheni V'Ekdesh Shelo Nifdu, right? Achal Davar Shehu Shel Mitzvah, or he comes and he eats a Davar Shel Mitzvah, or Davar Shehu Avera, right? So he says, Achal Kol Ma'achal V'lo Achal Basar, or he ate food but not meat. Imagine, he comes and he, but not meat. So he says, Shata Kol Mashke V'lo Shata Yain, or he drank everything but not wine. Eno Nasa Ben Sorer Moreh, he does not become Ben Sorer Moreh. Ad shiochal basar v'yishte yain, until he's going to eat meat and drink wine. Shneimar zolel v'soveh ve'afa b'shen raya l'davar, even though there's no raya l'davar, right? Zechel l'davar yika, there is zechel l'davar. Al ti b'soveh yain b'zoleh basar lamo, which means that the seviyah here is talking about davka yain, right? And zelila is davka basar, right? Because we said zolel v'soveh. So zolel v'soveh, meaning the stam zelila is basar, and stam soveh is going to be yain, and that's what they have the zechel davar from the pasuk. Okay, until here we're clear.
Until what age?
Amar bizera, says bizera, termitar ze en yodea ma. What is a termitar? Because it said in the beginning of the Mishnah that he has to eat a termitar basar. How much is a termitar basar now? So he says, Ela mitoch shekafal Rabbi Yosef b'yain, but since Rabbi Yosef came and he said that it's going to be double of the shiur in yain, right? So he says, Nimtza kofel b'basar, so it's going to be kofel b'basar. So it comes out the termitar, it's chetzi mana. So here it says, Hamishim dinarim. Okay, so it's going to be, right? It's going to be the half of a mana. Beforehand, right, we said it was going to be, so this is, that means according to the shita of termitar, it's half of what we said in the mana basar. So if mana basar was 480 grams, so it's 240 grams. Okay? Fine. So says the Gemara, right? Says the Gemara, right? Now he says over here, right? By the way, it doesn't say how long do you have. It's probably all day. Right?
What's happened? It's always not Zolel.
Yeah, no, it doesn't tell you to eat it the toch kedei achilat pras. It doesn't tell you have to eat it within 8 minutes.
I understand it's Zolel, but all day, if it's done all day.
all day.
It's the Rambam. The Rambam says it. Sorry, he says the Rambam. Tzarich she'ochal v'yishteh shiurim elu bevat achat. It has to be all in one shot. There's no mekor from the Gemara, but the Gemara doesn't tell you that. But he says still, right? Velo ha'ochel. It's a svara because that is zolel v'sovev. Not if he's eating little by little kederech haolam. Meaning if he's taking a steak, right? But he's eating a little. So he's eating a little bit for brunch, a little bit for lunch, a little bit for I don't know how you call it in between, right? And then again, the supper, the dinner, and then so okay, so that's normal. It's not zolel v'soveh. Zolel v'soveh akavana mama. She's how do you do it with all his neshama? Yeah, he's doing it with all his neshama. Fine. So that's a Rambam. Fine. Says the Gemara exactly. Yeah, that's what we mentioned yesterday. Says the Gemara. Okay, the Gemara says Amar Rav Chana bar Molada. Amar Rav Huna eno chayav ad shikach basar bezol v'yochal yain bezol v'yishted dichtiv zolel v'soveh. So zolel is milashon zol. So he has to buy it cheap. Now this is a very interesting thing. Why dafka? So here it says that since we said later on that he has to steal the money and buy it, so therefore it has to be that if he bought it for the regular price or he stole the meat and the wine itself, he's not a ben sorer muneh. So he has to steal money and he has to buy it for a cheap price. Okay? Ve'amar Rav Chana bar Molad amar Rav Huna eno chayav ad sheyochal basar chai. He's only going to be chayav if he eats it raw. V'yishteh yain chai, and he drinks wine when it's not mazug, right? Or if it's raw, basically, like it's not diluted wine. Okay, yain chai. So says the Gemara, is it so? And he doesn't become a ben sorer muneh. So Ravina says yain chai mazig, right? Mazig velo mazig. It's like half. Basar chai bashil velo bashil. Ki basar kiva de'ach leganve. Sorry, it's like the basar of the ganavim that they eat it. Meaning, if he's going to come and he's going to eat it like a normal person, he comes and he puts a steak, he's eating it half rare, right? Why is it? Which one? Like the Rusai, like a ganavim. You understand? Nowadays, it's a delicacy, right? The more rare, the better that it is. But really, that's ma'achal ganavim, right? Why is it ma'achal ganavim? You don't have time in order to wait in order for it to cook. What's going on? The fact that he's doing it in such a fashion that shows that he's kilu a ganav, that he's going to do this in the future as well. Why don't you wait? Shwai, let it, No, he's doing it. Why is he doing that? So obviously it's for a reason. Okay?
So this morning said that they did a research.
So says the Gemara, Rabbi said, achal basar maliach v'shata yain migito. If he comes and he's going to eat, right, basar, which was maliach, which means that it stayed in the salt. Or you drank the wine still when it's migito, which means that it's still, it's still at the beginning. Eno nasa ben sorer muneh. He's not going to be come. Why? Because he's not nimshach achreze, meaning that he's not pulled afterward. He has to do something that, like nowadays, I would call it like drugs. Why? Because they're nimshach achreze. They come and they get, and once they're drawn after it, they'll do the same thing and they'll steal and they'll kill and they'll do anything because they're drawn after it. You understand? So it's just going to be stam that he took meat and he just ate bon appetit. It's not that he's drawn after it. You understand? It's not going to change anything. Fine. Next. Okay, Tananatam, we learned in a Mishnah. Erev Tisha B'Av lo yochal adam shnei tavshilin. A person should not eat 2 tavshilin on Erev Tisha B'Av. V'lo yochal basar lo yishteh yain. You shouldn't eat meat and you shouldn't drink wine. Remember, this is on Sudat Masechet, yeah? V'tana, we learned, Aval, ochelu basar maliach, but he's allowed to eat basar maliach, v'shteh yain migito, basar maliach at kama. One is called basar maliach. Amar Chanim bar Kahana, kol zman shehu kishlamim, as long as it's going to be like a shlamim, which is shnei yamim v'layla echad. So it still has tam basar. Right, and therefore it's still misameach oto. Yain migito ad kama, kozman shu toses. V'tanya yain toses emo mishum gilui. If it's toses already, there's no isur of gilui. Remember, gilui means that maybe the nachash is going to come, the snake is going to come, and he's going to put his poison in it. Right, it's not going to have any isur of gilui because basically once it comes and it's going to be in such a thing, the nechashim go away from it. The kama tzisato, how long is it? Shlosha yamim, 3 days. So it says the Gemara, Hacha Mai, what does halacha to do with the Ben Sora no More? So he says, Hata Mishum Simcha, who there it's because of Simcha. So therefore, Kozman Shuk Shlamim, as long as it's going to be like a Shlamim Namit maybe Simcha, there's still Simcha. Hacha Mishum Imshuchehu. Here it's because it's going to be Moshechoto. So Bechol Shehu, Velo Mimshich Rayayin Adar Yom. So he says, as long as it's going to be a Zman Mu'at, so it's already, that's it. It takes away the taste. So therefore, it's not going to be Moshechoto, meaning like this. Erev Tisha B'Av, what was the Yisur? The Yisur on Erev Tisha B'Av, the Yisur is that you don't want to have Simcha. So if you're going to come, you're going to start eating meat, you're Sameach. You're supposed to be sad. It's Erev Tisha B'Av, Sudat Masechet. So therefore, we don't want that. Here, it has nothing to do with Simcha. Here, it has to do is it going to draw you forth to do an Avirah or not? So therefore, since over here, it's going to draw you forth to do an Avirah, so therefore, that's halacha. What does it draw? Right? It's nothing to do with you sameach, not sameach. I don't care about simcha. It's nothing to do with simcha. It has to do with what draws you forth. So says the Gemara. So it's going to be until the 40 days. Okay. So Amar Rav Chanan, and says Rav Chanan, Lo nivra yain ba'olam l'nechem avelim. You know why wine was created in the world? Nichum avelim. Right? Why? Because it takes away their tsar. Ulshalem sachar l'reshaim, and it's going to pay back the shaim in this world. Shneimar tenu shechar la'oved, which means that he's going to be oved me'olam, v'yayin l'man nefesh, and yayin for the people which are going to be man nefesh. So therefore, if somebody's going to ask you, why do you have wine in the world? Some people think that the wine is for you to enjoy yourself. You just saw the Gemara. The wine was created in this world for the people, for the avelim, in order to forget their sorrow, and for the rishayim. We want to get rid of them. Anyway, they're going to be oved me'olam. So therefore, that's why. Amar b'Yitzchak, says Rabbi Yitzchak, what does it mean in the pasuk? Al tere yain ki yitadam. Right? He says over here, don't look at the wine. Al tere yain shemadim perem shel rishayim ba'olam hazeh, because it's going to make that the faces of the rishayim are going to be red in this world. Umalbim perem le'olam haba, but it's going to make their faces white in the next world. Meaning here, it's going to be madim, right? It's going to make them red. But in the next world, it's going to whiten their faces. Rava says, al tere yain ki yitadam, al tere yain ki acharito dam, because it causes death, right? The person is going to be killed for it. Okay? Fine. Rav Kahana Rami. Rav Kahana comes and he asks a contradiction. Ketiv, it's written Tirosh. Now, Tirosh is written without the Vav. Tirosh, by the way, is wine. That's why they have a company of wine. They're called Tirosh, right? So Yukrinan, and we read it, Tirosh. We don't say any other way. So Zacha Nasa Rosh. Why is it Tirosh? It's like the Rosh. So if a person is going to be Zoche and he's going to drink wine properly, it's going to make him a Rosh. Why? It opens up his head for Chokhmah. Avalo Zacha Nasa Rash, and he becomes Rash, he becomes poor. Why is it poor? Because it's going to be used against him. Okay, Rava comes and he asks contradiction. It's written, it's going to make a person happy. Ukrinan Yisamach. Now, the first one is, I would have said Yeshamach, which is Shomem. But he says, but we read it, Yisamach. So Zacha, it's going to be Misameach Oto. Lo Zacha Meshamemo, it's going to make him Shamem. Shamem is like desolate, like nothing, emptiness. That yain, right? Sheshatiti ubesamim rechanim rachti. That's what made me into a pikeach. Meaning the wine and everything that I drank and the besamim that I used to smell made me into a pikeach. So it comes out if you're going to use it in the right midah, in the right measurements, it's going to be good. But if it's not, it's not. Well, obviously, it has to be a good measurement, not that a person is going to be using it for doing averot or getting drunk. Right?
Yeah.
Which one?
People think that to be an artist, you have to drink.
Yeah? Okay, fine. So it obviously has to be a good thing. Fine. Amar Rav Amram bered Rabbi Shimon bar Abba Amar Rabbi Chanina. Says Rabbi Amram, the son of Rabbi Shimon bar Abba, named Rabbi Chanina. What do you mean in the pasuk? Lemi oi, lemi avoy. So he says, Lemi midyanim, meaning who gets into fights with people. Lemi siach, who has tsa'ar, suffering. Lemi petzaim chinam, who has petzaim for no reason. Lemi chachlalut enaim, who has like these reddish eyes. Lemeacherim alayain, the ones that they come and they start drinking wine. Labaim lafkor mimsach, that they come and they start checking with the besamim. Ki ata Ravashi, right? Rav Dimi, he came and he said, Amri Marava Haikra the Pasuk Man Dedar Shle Meresh Seva Midresh Miseva Leresh Midresh. He says who's going to be Doresh from the beginning until the end. He's going to be Nidrash Yafeh, and from the end until the beginning, it's also going to be Nidrash Yafeh. Which means at the beginning it said Mitchilato L'Sofo it says who's going to come and scream Oi, and he's going to scream Avoy. So he's going to be in Tsar, and he's going to come to fighting with people, and because of that he's going to hit people, and they're going to have Ptzaim. His eyes are going to be red because of wine. So then it says somebody that's going to come and he's going to be always drinking wine. Now, if you go the other way around, it says, right, who's the one that's drinking wine? Somebody that's screaming oy vavoy, and he's got tsar, which is basically an avel, right? Or somebody that comes and he's got fighting with people, and therefore because of he has to come, and he has to, which is a rasha, and that's why he's going to. That means basically either way how you take the pasuk forwards to backwards or backwards to forwards, it's actually good. Okay? Darish over Gelilah. Shelosh esre vavin neemru. There's going to be 13 vavs which are said in the parasha of the Yain. Vayachel Noach ish adama vayita karev vayesh minay vayishkar vayitgal betocha vayarcham. ויגל שני אחיו החוץ, ויקח שם עבד השמלה, וישימו שכם שניהם, וילכו אחרונית, ויכסו את רבביהם ופניהם, ויקץ נוח, וידע את אשר. So there's 13 vavs. Why do you have 13 vavs, right, which are written beside each other? So he comes and he says, it teaches us that it causes a person to come and to scream, vai, vai. So in the footnote, it actually counts all the 13 times, and obviously it's basically a person saying, vai, vavoy, oy, vavoy, oy, oy, oy. Right, that's the vai. Okay, fine. Says the Gemara. Right, vayeda tashes salo ben hakatan. Says Rav Shmuel, chad amar sideso, ve'chad amar riveo. So there's a machloke between Rav and Shmuel. When it says that his ben hakatan, right, which is going to be, he came and he did something to Noach. What did he do exactly? According to one opinion, he made him sterile, castricized him, which means that he made him sterile, that he can't have children anymore. Right? He basically, that's it. No more children. Right? That's the first opinion. Second opinion, Rivao. He actually sodomized him. No, I think that you said in English. Sodomized him. Okay? So man amar siriso, according to the man amar siriso, mitoch kilkelo barevi. It's because of his kilkul that he didn't want him to have a fourth child. So kilelo barevi. So therefore he came and he cursed him with a fourth child. Meaning, you didn't want me to have a fourth child, so he's going to curse his fourth child. Who's the fourth child? Arur Kenan. Kenan is the fourth child. Uman Damar, but according to, right, the Mandamar, that Riva'o, so how do you learn that? He says, Gamar, he learned it from Vayar Vayar. Kativ it's written Vayar Cham Avi Kenan in Tevat Aviv. Uchtivatam it's written over there Vayar Ota Shechem Ben Chamor. So right, then Vayishkav Ota Vayanea. So the fact that it was written Vayar by both places, we come and make a Gzera Shavat that he actually came and he did something immoral, right? So therefore, just like Shechem came and he violated Dinah, so too Cham came and he violated his father. So Bishama Lemandama, right? So it's good according to the Mandama. Siriso, right? Mishum Haki, because of that, he came and he cursed the fourth child. But according to the Rivao, why Dafka the fourth child? Meaning, okay, fine, he came and he sodomized him. He went and he did something immoral with his father. Why Dafka the fourth child? Lama Dafka ben Revi tzarich lekalel. So he says, Havai, because according to this Shita, he did both. He also, gam v'gam. So because of that, that's why it still happened to the fourth child. Okay, so comes Noach and he starts planting a vineyard. Noach, he says, I don't understand you. What everything was because of yain, right? What does that mean now? Because of yain, because basically he called him ish adama. So now why? Because he should have learned. Because he wants to say that the etzadat was a geffen. So if etzadat was a geffen, what caused the downfall of Adam Rishon? The yain, the geffen. So therefore, what are you planting geffen right away? What are you doing? You should have learned from Adam Rishon, right? So he says, right? The Tanya was learned to write. It was a geffen. Right? Ayin Amubet, 70b. Because what brings so many bad things to a person is going to be wine. Meaning, throughout generations, it was always yain, which means that it always brought bad things in the world. So what are you doing? Rabbi Yehuda comes and he says it was a chita. Right? Why? Shetinok yodea likro abba ve'ima chitom tam dagan. Meaning the child will only know how to call papi and mami, right? Papa and mama, only when they already taste the gan. When Nehemiah comes and he says it was a fig, tenaya, shebedvar shekilkilu bo nitkenu. Because since they went and they were fixed, alide etz tena. They ate the tena and then they realized they were without clothing. So they took the etz tena and they covered themselves. So he says, Shneemar ve'itpiru ale tena. So again, you've got a machloket, right? What exactly was it? Okay, then it says in the pasuk, Divrei Lemuel Melech Masa Sheiseto Imo. We're talking about Shlomo Melech that he was given chastised, he was given rebuke by his mother. Amar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Mishum Yochai says Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Yochai Lamet Shekivato Leimol Amud. The mother came and she put him on the amud, on the beam, in order to give him lashes. The Amralo, and she said, Ma beri uma bar bitni uma bar nedari. He says, well, what is my son? What is that? So he says, Mar beri means, right? Akol yodim shavicha yireh shamayim hayah. V'achshav yomru sheimor garmalo. Meaning everybody knows that your father had a lot of yirat shamayim. So if you're going to go off the path, they're going to say, whose fault is it? The mother. So therefore, Ma beri, look at my son. Look what you're doing to me, because you're causing me the embarrassment. Umar bar bitni. What does it mean from my stomach? So he says, Kol anashim shebet avicha kevan shemitabrot shuben onrot pera melech. He says the second that they became pregnant, they wouldn't see the king again. Meaning they became pregnant, Kamarno, that's it. So he says, Vani tachakti v'nichnasti kedei shiye li ben mezuraz umloban. But I kept on coming to the king even after, right, becoming pregnant, in order that I should be the child should be very chazak ubari umluban nuke. Because they say that at the end of pregnancy, the more tashmish, the quicker the child is and the cleaner that he is, the better that he is. Okay? So he says, okay, this is the Gemara Nidal, Amidalef Amudalef. Umar bar Nidari, what does that mean? כל הנשים שבית אביך היו נודרות יהיה לי בן הגון למלכות, ואני נולדתי ואמרתי יהיה לי בן זריז ומלומד בתורה והגון לנביאות. Their ikar was, they wanted a king. So if you're going to ask all the other wives of David HaMelech, you have children? Yeah. Why do you want to have a child? My child should be fitting for Malchut. That he should be the king. She wasn't asking that. You know what she was asking for? A child that was going to be filled of Torah and Nevuah. That's what she wanted. And because of that, that's what she got it. Right? And that's what she got. She got both, actually. Right? She got also the Malchut and also that. So this is what? Batsheva coming and giving Musar to her child. Right? Mamash, it's a Chokhmah, it's a Musar scale, because we see from here that even though he's a king, she tied him up to the pole and boom, she's going to give him lashes. Yeah? Fine. So he says, because this is the Melech, remember, this is the Melech that he's getting it. So he says over here like this. Wow, here it says that this is the Tochacha when he got married to Bat Paro on Chanukah Bet HaMikdash. Right? So what happened was that she came and she gave it to him. Right? Oh. So you see, the mother never stops. No matter if he's already married, no matter if he's a king, no matter it doesn't matter what, boom. She's going to come and she's still going to give it to you. Fine. Anyway. Says the Gemara, Alla melachim lamoel, Alla melachim shito yain. What does it mean? Alla melachim amralo, malachatze melachim shito yain mishtakrim. Vomrim lama lanuel. What are you going to go to these kings that they're going to come, they're just going to be drinking wine and getting drunk? And they say, what do we need a God? What are you doing? He says, what? Somebody that all the secrets of the world is going to be real, you're going to start getting drunk? That all the people, they come to his entrance, he's going to come and he's going to get drunk. So what is he doing? So Rabbi Yitzchak says, how do we know that Shlomo Melech came and he thanked his mother? Meaning after giving it to him on the head, boom. Right? What does that mean? Right? I should have learned from Noach, because Noach was an ish adama. That this is Adam Harishon. So basically he went and he said thank you to his mother, because he realized, you're right, I should have learned from Noach and Adam Harishon. Look at all these problems. Okay?
That's when he wrote the Shattai?
Huh?
That's when he wrote the Shattai.
It's not that simple. Yeah, but there's different opinions. Fine. Now he says like this. Some people say it was Avraham Avinu to Sarah. It's not that simple. Fine. Yeah, Avraham to Sarah. Yeah, some people say that. Achal b'chaburat mitzvah. Yeah, he says like this. Achal b'chaburat mitzvah. And that's why there's a minhag, by the way, that the Sfaradim, that we say Yeshet Chayin when they're bearing a woman. Yeah?
Oh, that varies from my grandmother.
Yeah, but that was a minhag, by the way. It went away, but I'm saying, but technically that was a minhag. The minhag was always Eshet Chayin, meaning when they're going to bury the woman, and she's married, obviously, Eshet Chayin. Yeah? Fine. Achal b'chaburat mitzvah. if she is, if a person came was a ben sorer moreh and he ate a chabura mitzvah, he's not going to become a ben sorer moreh. Amr Rabbi Yavu says Rabbi Yavu and chayav sheyochal b'chabura shekula srikim. He's only going to be chayav if he's going to be in a chabura, eating in a chabura which they're of empty people. So ask the Gemara Vanan Tram, but I thought that we learned a chabura mitzvah and he doesn't become ben sorer moreh. Tamad mitzvah, because it's a mitzvah. That's why halav mitzvah. If it's not a mitzvah, even though there's everything is going to be srikim. What does that mean? Right? So he says. It could be that even though all the people there are srikim, they're empty-headed ones. Kevin the mitzvah kasik, since he's doing a mitzvah, lo mimshach. Meaning that if a person came and he's enjoying himself, imagine right now you go to a sudat mitzvah and the guy's fressing away. The guy's a gluton, but he's enjoying. But at the end of the day, he's doing a mitzvah. He's sudat mitzvah, so for he's not a ben sorer munah. But at the end of the day, it's a mitzvah. Yeah, kimo purim, exactly. You know that I. So says the Gemara. Achal beibura chodesh. If he ate for ibura chodesh, remember the basar v'yayin masiko. He says what? That only with basar v'yayin. That's how they went. They brought it up to the gag, and that's what they used to do. V'atayim we learned on the bright. We don't only bring only patagan shel kitni bilvad. Only bread. Hakamash Malan comes teach you v'afagav de enolin, even though they don't bring up only just pavek kitnit v'yu asik, and he took up basar v'yayin v'achal. Still, since he's doing a mitzvah, he's not going to be mamshich. Tanu Rabbanan we learned on the bright. Enolin beibura chodesh pachom asara ben adam. You always need 10 people for the Ibura Chodesh. Then you bring up bread, right? Of the Gavikidni. They're only going to do it the night of the Iburo. And they only go up during the nighttime and not during the daytime. So says the Gemara, it says the exact opposite. So you only go up, not going up to the nighttime, you only go up during the daytime. So says the Gemara, go up before the Suda, right, Be'od Yom a little bit, and then come out a little bit before Ora Boker. In order that they should hear, right, what's going on. Which means that the Braita is coming and teaching us that you don't go to in the nighttime, only during the daytime. The Pirush is me'at mi Be'od Yom, meaning it's still a little bit the daytime, in order that people see that you're going up to do it. And then afterwards you come down. Achal Ma'aseh Shani b'Yerushalayim. If a person is going to come and he's going to eat Ma'aseh Shani in Yerushalayim, Kevan dechi orchehu ka'achilei lo mimshech, which means since it's normal, because he's eating it like a mitzvah. Remember, what is Ma'aseh Shani? You have to eat it in the walls of Yerushalayim. So you're doing that. So okay, you're doing a mitzvah. You're doing a mitzvah, right? It's the mitzvah of the Ma'aseh Shani. So there's no avera. So therefore, you don't become ben sorer munah. Achal nevilot u'trufot shekatzim masim. Amarava achal basar off. If a person is going to eat chicken, he doesn't become ben sorer munah. V'anan tznan achal nevilot u'trufot shekatzim masim nasa ben sorer munah. Hateoni nasa ben sorer munah. Says the Gemara, no. Ki tznan matnitin lashlim. We're talking about to be mashlim, right? The shiur, the mitzaref, the shiur of achila. Which means in the case of basar behema, it's going to be mitzaref. You know, the shkatzim, masim, all this. But basar off, no. Hey, you're going to enjoy with a chicken. Well, what are you? You know, doesn't work. Fine. Achal davar shehu mitzvah dvar avera. Why don't you eat something which is a mitzvah and an avera? So dvar mitzvah tanchumei avelim. Dvar avera tani tzibur. So therefore, tanchumei avelim is talking about dvar mitzvah, but the mitzvah d'Rabbanan, and dvar avera is going to be tani tzibur. Tamamai, what's the reasoning? But the pasuk says, enonu shomea bekolenu velo bekolo shema kol. It has to be that he's not listening to our voice, but not to the voice of Hashem. Because if it's going to be the voice of Hashem, it's a different halacha. Achal kol ma'achal velo ochal basar. What happens if he ate any type of food but not meat, or he drank any drink but not the wine? Achal kol ma'achal velo ochal basar latui devar kilit, even kilit, which is basically te'anim, which are figs, which they come from kila. Right? He says even though it's going to be mishakeret, but it does not become ben sorer munah. Shata kol mashke velo shata yain. This is coming to include dvash v'chalav. Right? That is, even though it's good, it's also going to be mishaker. Right? It's going to be mishaker, yeah? Dvash v'chalav. I don't know what type of dvash and chalav here. It's a mashke which is made out of maim and dvash, which is called made dvash, which is called med. What's med? I don't understand anything in drinks, so don't ask me. I don't know. Med. It says here it's mishaker. I don't know. What? No. So that means even though it's going to be mishaker, it doesn't make you into a ben sorer munah. But the ben sorer munah does davka yain, right? Exactly. Davka yain v'davka basar. Titania achal devela kiili v'shita dvash v'chalav nichnas mikdash, and he came into the mikdash. Chayav. He's going to be chayav. Okay,